Dear students, in this course, I mean information technology and application, I am going to start with the definition of computer. Students, as you know, prior to defining a computer, we have so many questions like what is computer, means it is a machine. Then another question arises, what it does. We think that it executes algorithm. Immediately we think why it executes algorithm. Then its reply is to process data. The next question arises, how it gets data. So whatever the data we input, I mean the data fed to it, that is processed with the help of algorithm. And the last question, definitely you will think that if everything is done, everything is based upon the algorithm execution, then where the algorithm resides? The most simple answer, that algorithm resides in the memory. Now I will club all these 5 answers, like first answer means computer is a machine. The second, what is its function? Its function is execution of algorithm. Why so? To process data. From where it get data? From outside, I mean whatever fed to it. And where the algorithm resides? That resides in the memory. So after clubbing all these, we will definitely develop a definition. So computer is a machine, the first answer, which executes algorithm, the second answer. Why executes algorithm? The third answer is here, to process data. The fourth question was how it gets data. Its answer was fed to it, and this is here. And the last question, where the algorithm resides, stored in its memory. So after grouping all these answers, we get a definition, that is computer is a machine which executes algorithm stored in its memory to process data fed to it and produces required result. So students, this is the definition of a computer, and by its definition you well aware that it is a machine whose main part is algorithm and whose function is to process data, and upon those data which are inputted by ourselves, I mean ki users. So this is the computer. If this is a computer, and we know that it is versatile and it has some characteristics, and you know that characteristics is combination of capability and limitations. So there are several capabilities and few limitations. So let's discuss its capability first, one by one. It is automatic. I mean ki automaticity is its one of the characteristics, that once we give appropriate instructions to a computer, it performs the entire task until it meets the stop instruction. The another capability, it carry out instructions in less than millions of a second, means it is too much fast. The speed of computer is usually given in terms of the time units. For access time, that Initially these were millisecond, then became microsecond, afterwards nanoseconds and picosecond. And picosecond, which is a millionth of a second, I mean 10 to inverse 12. The speed of computer is also measured in terms of instructions per second, and nowadays the unit of computer speed is measured in MIPS, that is million instructions per second. The another capability, that is accuracy. It is much accurate than ourselves. Computers calculate very accurately. If mistakes occur in any calculation, they are due to our errors. The accuracy of operation of computer is always 100%, so it is termed as reliable. Diligence. Diligence मतलब थकता नहीं है, लगातार काम करता है, फिर भी कोई थकावट इसमें महसूस नहीं होती है, क्योंकि हम लोग जब थक जाते हैं तो गलती करने लगते हैं. So computers are capable of performing any task given to them repetitively. If any calculation has to be done a million times, a computer does so with the same speed and accuracy without halting in between. The next capability, that is storage capacity. It has capacity to store large amount of data and instructions. Storage capacity applies to both primary and secondary storages. It is normally measured in the term of byte, nibble, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte and terabyte. The computer performs whatever. All basic signal are represented by 0 and 1, that is bits. So 0 or 1 is termed as bit, and group of 4 bits constitute a nibble, group of 8 bits constitute a byte, and 1024 bytes constitutes a kilobyte, and 1024, I mean 2 to the power 20 equal to 1 megabyte, 2 to the 30, which is equal to 1024 megabyte, that is equal to 1 gigabyte, and 2 to the 40 gigabyte is equal to 1 terabyte. And versatile. Computer is versatile. कहने का मकसद कि कंप्यूटर में हर तरह का काम होता है. So it's one of the capability is versatility. Computers carry out the tasks using a small set of elementary instructions. Therefore, wide use of computers in almost every sphere of our life, such as scientific, commercial, educational or industrial areas in day-to-day life is ample evidence of its versatility. And last but not least, it adopts the scientific approach. It has no biasness, it has no emotion, so it does all the work on scientific approach without any biasness, without any emotions. So these are various, altogether 7 capabilities which I have enumerated here, and few limitations are also. So let's see. So these are 3 limitations, that it has no common sense, means lacks of common sense. It is a tool only, it can't think, it does not have any sense, intelligence as we have. हम लोगों को जैसा दिमाग है वैसा इसको कोई दिमाग नहीं है. The another limitation, that is it can't correct any mistake, means inability to correct. When we give instructions to a computer, we must give the correct instruction. A computer cannot correct wrong instructions. So it fully depend upon ourselves, means dependence on human instructions. A computer cannot generate any information on its own. It can only do with what it is told. जो हम लोग कहते हैं उसी पर वह करता है, वो खुद से नहीं करता. So these are the characteristics consisting capability and limitations. Now we will see that how the modern age computer have evolved up to now. So the evolution of modern computer from first electronic computer of 1945 can be viewed in specific generations which are starting from early 40s. Each generation is an improvement over the earlier in terms of technology, speed, size, etc. In the first generation, which is termed as 1942 to 1955, in which harmonic valves and vacuum tubes were used as technology, whose speed was slower than nowadays time, although that was also faster, but those were measured in millisecond, that is 10 inverse 3, and the languages were used directly. The instructions or data were given in the binary coding, that was known as machine level language. Size was extremely large. Example of those generation computers are ENIAC, electronic numerical integrator and calculator; EDVAC, electronic discrete variable automatic computer, etc., etc. The next generation, which started in that year itself, I mean 1955. So you will see that the second generation starts from 1955, whereas the first generation ends in 1955. So don't be confused. In sometime in the same year, one has been slumped down and the new generation started. So second generation of the computers are termed as 1955 to 1964, in which transistors were used as technology. The speed was measured in microsecond, I mean 10 inverse 6. The languages were assembly language, in which mnemonics were used to give instructions or data in the computer. Size was reduced considerably from the earlier generation. Programming language was mnemonics, and example of that generation was IBM 1400, IBM 7000 series, etc., etc. The third generation started from 1965 to 1974, in which silicon chips were used as technology. Speed was measured in the nanosecond, that is 10 inverse 9. The language were used high level language. From the third generation, the high level languages started to be used. In high level language, we instruct the computer almost in English words. Storage capacity was comparatively larger. Size reduced, small computers. Example of the third generation were IBM System 360, PDP-2, Honeywell 2000, etc. And the next generation, that is fourth generation, that starts from 1975 up to 1985, in which the fourth generation, in which integrated circuits were used as technology. These integrated circuits were very large scale integrated circuit, LSIC, and metal oxide semiconductor, popularly known as MOS technology. The use of microprocessors came into being from this generation. Speed was measured in picosecond, that is 10 inverse 12. The languages, high level language, improved high level language, many more languages invented in this period. So refined high level languages were being used, very much reliable. The examples are IBM 370 series, Honeywell 6080 series, Apple PC 386, 486, Pentium series, etc. And from 1986 to now, we are in 5th generation. Although most of the places the computer are of 4th generation, but that provides us to install and use the 5th generation softwares and languages. So 5th generation computers use ultra large scale integrated chips, ULSIC. They contain millions of components on a chip. These computers use intelligent programming and knowledge based problem solving techniques and are able to interpret natural languages. From this generation computers, the limitation of a specific language reduced up to least. जब नाम मात्र का रह गया है, अब हम लोग अपनी बोलचाल की भाषा में भी इंस्ट्रक्शंस डालने के लायक हमारा हार्डवेयर तैयार हो गया है. So the 5th generation computers characteristics are, they are super large scale integrated chips, they have artificial intelligence, they are able to recognize images and graphs directly, their aims are to be able to solve highly complex problem including decision making, logical reasoning, etc., which were not done from earlier generation hardwares, I mean computers. These computers are intended to work with natural languages. As immediately I have told that now the limitation of a specific language has been minimized up to least. So this is the generation of computers right from first generation, which was started in the year 1942 to up to now. So now we move to next, and that is classification of computers. So computer can be classified on basis of different factors such as circuits and the task performance capabilities. And under this classification, computers are categorized as 3. The number 1, analog computers. Analog computers are a specific type of computers. They are made to perform some particular task only and not for all type of works. It acts with continuous data and does not communicate with numbers directly. These are made only for testing and studying other existing system with few new system developments. So mostly these are used in thermometer, speedometer, hydrometer, etc., where data are direct taken to the hardware and which are in the analog mode. So the analog computers have the capability to accept the analog signals. The another type is digital computers. Digital computers use binary numbers, and we know that 0 and 1 are known as binary digit, which is also called a bit. So information are represented in digital computer in group of bits. It performs several different tasks and it is interactive in nature. It operates essentially on counting instead of measuring. The analog computers operates on measuring. So analog signals are measured only, that those can't be numbered, counted. The digital computers accept information in form of discrete pulses. These are used for business and scientific applications, and the digital computers are widely used computers nowadays. The hybrid computer, it is mix of both analog and digital computers. So these computers are mostly used with process control equipment in continuous production plants like oil refineries, mining, etc. And it are mostly used in the nuclear power plants or like those areas. So computers can be classified on another basis, that is on its size and working and performance capabilities. So the computers are classified on basis of its usage and size, in which the smallest one is microcomputer. These are personal computers and are designed for small business units and office automation. These are used in various application areas like business and professional applications, computer learning, electronic spreadsheet, word processing, accounting, telecommunication purposes, etc. Then another one, that is mini computer. Mini computers are larger in size than micro, I mean personal computers, and have a faster processing speed. It consists of multi-processing units in a single chip. It can support up to 15 to 25 terminals simultaneously. Some important mini computers were Magnum VAX, Mighty Frame, etc. You will mark that I told you where. Why so? Since nowadays it has been eloped. But so the difference between microprocessor and microcomputer and mini computer has ended by advent of 80386 chip with cache memory. All the capabilities of mini computers are available in microcomputer, I mean personal computers. So the next one is mainframe computers, which are very large machines with capability of parallel processing. The data transfer rate of this machine is 8 million bytes per second or even more. Mainframe computers are used for centralized data processing like train reservation, airline reservation, etc. Mainframe computers can support more than 500 terminals simultaneously. The next one is supercomputers. Supercomputers contain a number of CPUs which operate in parallel to make it faster. They are used for massive data processing and solving very sophisticated problems. They are used for weather forecasting, weapon research and development, rocket launching, aerodynamics, seismology, atomic and nuclear, plasma physics, etc. Some of the supercomputers are Cray 3, SX2, SX3R, etc. series. So we saw how how many types of computers are in existence with various type of capabilities, and how is it generated from first generation computers right from 1942 to up to now. So this all about the computer. So this is the introduction of computer in this session. In next session we will start some new topic. Thank you.